and welcome to the first episode of Shyamalan Shit or Hit. I'm Taryn, and I have Annie.
Howdy.
And our special guest, Ian.
Hello.
And we are here to talk about M. Night Shyamalan's films. A little bit of backstory. Annie and I both love horror, but we often have different opinions on film. But we both have a love-hate relationship with the M. Night Shyamalan. So every episode, we will be reviewing an M. Night film, which will be a surprise to us and you, as we are drawing out of a bucket. We will be covering his directed, story, and written bys, and we are recording from the very home of M. Night himself, Philadelphia. So today, we are reviewing, drumroll, Stuart Little. Because apparently, he has written Stuart Little with a
screenplay, right?
A screenplay with an unknown man named Greg Brooker.
Yes, the famous Greg Brooker.
All right, so we are.
What else is he? Greg Brooker. Have anybody looked it up? Like what he?
No.
What he actually wrote too? Because I'm assuming that it's amazing stuff like Stuart Little in 1999.
Well, fun fact: this Stuart Little came out in 1999, the same year as The Sixth Sense, which is a very bizarre contrast to screenplays. So I wonder what happened there, or what went wrong, or kind of what went right, because I kind of like, Sixth Sense.
That's interesting. I'd like to know if they were being made at the same time or if they just happened to be released at the same time.
That's very true, because what was he signed on to first? I have no idea.
So I have from the internet ticker here. I have some interesting news. He's only written 2 projects. One was Stuart Little in 1999, and the second one was in 2018 called Christopher Robin, which I never saw.
Disney?
Yeah, I've never seen it. It's a story by credit. Oh. It looks atrocious, but I've never even heard of this. Anyway, back to regular scheduled programming.
Yeah, so half these films, I feel like Annie has seen some, and I haven't seen. Ian, is that good? Same with you, with M. Night?
Yeah, I feel like I've seen most, or at least all of his bangers.
Yeah. So
greatest hits.
I am a Stuart Little. Well, I was a Stuart Little fan as a child. As an adult, I'm questioning a lot of things. And Annie here has never seen Stuart Little until last night.
Yeah, last night.
So, do you want to tell us about what you thought about
So, Taryn and I got together the other night. We were, discussing things for the podcast. And I said, let me look up the synopsis of Stuart Little because I thought I read the book. I didn't, apparently, because I don't remember any of this. And what I thought, and this is in my notes, what I thought this movie was. This fucking mouse was living in the walls. Maybe the cat killed his parents, and the cat brings Stuart Little thinking it's dead to the humans, and they feel guilty, so they let him live there. That is not what happens. And I gotta be honest, I think that what I thought is a better storyline than the actual story of Stuart Little.
I agree. It would make more sense with the context of how this movie went down at first.
Have you seen this before, Ian?
Yeah, I remember watching it as a kid. I don't remember really having any particular opinion about it, but I know that I watched it a few times because it was one of the few DVDs we had.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
So it was a DVD household item in your...
It wasn't. I think it wasn't mine, for sure. That was a repeat film. I don't know why. I think because my older brother hated it, so I watched it with him because he's about 7 years older than me.
It's also because back in those days, because we all born in the 80s, 90s, correct? 90s? Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, we were all born in the early 90s, so back then, when you're little, you don't really have, there's not a lot of repetitive TV, so it's like you watch movies like VHSs and DVDs and you just watch them repeatedly. You're also a kid, so you don't know what's bad and what's good.
Sure, there's no streaming.
You're an idiot, so you're just watching whatever's on and you convince yourself that things are good, but clearly they're not.
Right, so we're gonna break down this film from, dear God, beginning to end.
Do you have a synopsis that you wanna anything synopsis of this film, or what IMDb says this movie is? It says, when the Littles adopt Stuart the mouse, George is initially unwelcoming of his new brother, and the family cat Snowbell is even less enthusiastic. Stuart resolves to face these difficulties with as much pluck and courage as he can muster.
Okay, wait. Let's talk about this freaking cast.
Let's talk about this
cast. So going in, you have Hugh Laurie.
Which I didn't think, he's from like House, right?
Yes.
I'd never watched it, but he's a big actor?
I did watch House, I was forced.
Well, he was in Blackadder, which was like really big, at least in the UK. So I think maybe that had something to do with it. But I think that ended by the 90s anyways. So.
Okay, but he was like a known actor that people like respected? All right. Okay. I don't know. Gina Davis.
I don't know
Can I just say, she was phenomenal. Except for the pleated pants.
in the movie.
In the movie, I thought she was great. She's great in everything.
I mean,
Gina Davis.
Didn't do much.
She did what she had to do. She was a doting, weird mother wearing pleats, and I respect that 100%.
She made me believe that she wanted to steal back the little guy from, well, spoilers. We won't go there.
I'm saying she's great, and I love her, and she was great in a shitty movie.
That is, I guess to me, she just didn't hit any. The parents, they just pissed me off so much.
Well, yeah, they're terrible
so
people.
I didn't even pay attention to their performance. And then the child actor who was famous for like a day.
Oh, that guy. It's like a stone.
Who played George. Jonathan.
Was he in anything else?
He was in Jerry Maguire. He was in. You were talking about a vampire movie that I never saw.
He was in The Little Vampire or something that was on
he
Disney.
Also starred in.
I remember that.
He stars in Jacked as Fuck because.
Yeah, he needs facial hair. I know that much.
These look photoshopped. I'm gonna show.
Oh, yeah,
these pictures.
Kind of
he's actually kind of cute. That's him. He's kind of a cute guy.
Normal.
Okay.
But then you see these pictures, and you're like, what in the actual fuck?
What is going on there?
That's weird.
It's weird. The body doesn't match.
I mean, he's got a great body, but it just doesn't look right on his baby face.
Probably short.
Because he's about our age.
Yeah, I feel like he's short.
We're all born in the early 90s.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of...
1990, so same as all of us.
Yes.
I feel like a lot of childhood or child actors end up looking a little strange as they grow up. The features that made them cute kind of don't age well. He looks like a normal person.
I agree. I think he actually is a very good-looking guy. It's just because he still has a baby face, it's strange to see him on an oily, jacked body. It's a little upsetting to me.
It's also what's the reason for that? What was your journey post Stuart Little and
I
being
feel like
vampires?
being a child actor has its...
messed up.
Yeah, messed up. Just you decide to go in a different route, and then maybe you become addicted to certain things, and that's just what you no hate. It's just a little strange to me.
When was he on Dances with the Stars?
Was he on Dances?
No, I'm just assuming.
We just
believe that though.
Let's get him on there. Come on, Jonathan Lipnicki. Let's get you on Dancing with the Stars. I love this.
Anyone's bones before then.
So can we start? We'll go through. All right. So the Littles are on their way to the adoption place. Which, okay, first note. Why are they not bringing the son with them to pick out this adoptive child? This is a big family decision, right?
You're so right. Where was the kid? Did he have a babysitter?
No, they took him to school. He's like, can I come? And they're like, no, you have to go to school. You are literally picking a child for this kid to live with. He should be part of that. Correct?
Correct.
Right? I would be fucking livid if I was this kid.
But also...
I would start working out too.
I feel like that's the only part that I thought was almost cute, where he was like, oh, it's a surprise? Ooh, what are you going to get?
I mean, it's cute if you're getting a puppy, but it's not cute when you're getting a child. Well, a supposed child.
I was going to say, not far off.
That's true.
You're getting a mouse. So, that in itself was strange. Also, they go to the orphanage and, it felt like they were shopping. That's not how adoption works.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. Every movie I've seen with adoption, you
just get the kid.
Little Orphan Annie, Orphan. You literally just go and you walk around and you find the cutest one that doesn't have, crazy trauma, bad trauma.
Can I just say, I think that was the beginning of the unraveling of the themes in this movie for me. Was just what era is this supposed to be?
Okay,
everything is very strange. This is an orphanage, but yes.
Yeah. So they were all dressed like they could have been in the 40s to the 60s.
And nobody had phones or anything.
Yeah, it was modern, but there wasn't any phones. there wasn't, I don't even, yeah, like no landlines or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't. No. Well, they had they had a rotary phone. Remember, the kid at the end is like picking up the rotary phone,
See,
which is strange.
but then
And they're also
but then
racing boats.
But then everyone else was also, oh yeah, the boats. I don't know
we'll
what's
get
going
to
on
that.
there. But then everyone else is also, some people aren't wearing their attire, and then some people are. And I don't know if they were trying to, like, again, with the theme of, like, these are the Littles, this is their perfect family with the bow ties, but it was bizarre.
It was bizarre. And there was a lot, I said it before,
It
the
needs to be
pleats.
a different world, not actually, like, a fake New York City.
Right. No, I agree. Like, make it new.
Yeah, make it different.
Yeah.
Like how terrible Dr. Seuss live action was. It's bad, but at least...
But it was a world
at
that
least
he
they're
had
in
made
a
up.
world
Yeah.
that they made up.
I was definitely thinking if you're going to have backdrops for the city, it's boring to just have it be the city.
Yeah, I kind of agree. And was there even backdrops? Because it was literally, they showed that fucking house like 100 times. Mm-hmm. Like, we get it.
Oh, I have something to say about that, but that's after they leave the orphanage.
Well, okay. Can we just, before we leave this orphanage, why is nobody fazed by this mouse talking?
No one's fazed by the mouse talking, and he didn't do anything charming to charm them.
He's also reading Little Women.
I
What was that about?
for some
How
reason,
did he get that tiny book?
I remember that so specifically as a child, and I don't know why. I remember just
How
that
did he get it
book.
so small? So small. It was so small. It was so small.
Not wrong.
Where did he get it?
You're not wrong.
Where did he get it? Where did he learn to read? Also, this is a note I wrote later in the movie, and I'm going to bring it up. At one point, I looked at the lifespan of a domestic mouse. So apparently, field mouse in the city, they live for like 15 to 18 months. This is pretty, whatever. When you're living on the streets, there's a lot more adversity. You get hit by cars. This fucking kid, this mouse is facing death like 1,000 times, and I wrote every single one down. This domestic mouse is only supposed to live for 1 to 3 years. He doesn't have much time left.
Also, it's in New York City. Well, they keep saying mouse and or rat. I don't know why they call him a rat.
Yeah,
As like,
they do call him a rat at one point.
but we'll get to that. That's more like a slur for some reason. But you're in New York, so why are you at an orphan? It's just the whole thing. But they decide they want him.
One more point
Whatever.
about the orphanage. I just thought it was pretty sad that they go in during recess, which is just them being able to frolic around in their bunk rooms.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, yay, this is recess. We're still inside.
That is funny.
I wrote at this point in the movie, which is, 5 minutes in, I already hate this. And I sent this picture to you, Taryn, and Rachel last night. Our friend Rachel, who's on the next episode, was watching it with our friend, was watching it with Taryn. Already hate this. But, okay, so they leave the orphan. They decide to adopt this thing.
Yes. Which I watched it with our friend Rachel, and she called him a man mouse.
Man mouse.
First trigger was why is his voiceover a grown man and it's supposed to be a child?
Michael J. Fox. Okay, look. I think he did a good job doing voice acting. I actually got me a little sad. I was like, right, and I was doing a lot of research, and I looked up some of the actors, and I clicked on Michael J. Fox's IMDb, and it actually had a trailer for a new movie that he's coming out with. It's basically a documentary about his life. And shows him now, and he's making a lot of jokes and like actually very, very good spirits, but he just looks, his voice, very, very sad because he's very, very talented, and it just got me a little salty that I was making fun of this movie because I think Gina Davis is good in it, and I think Michael J. Fox, they're all doing what they need to be doing for the role. We'll get to it at the end, but I already told you that I hate this, so I guess you can kind of guess how I'm going to rate this at the end, but... Anyway, so they bring this mouse home, the rat, whatever thing.
First thing I freaking noticed about when they bring the adoption, receptionist lady or agent or whatever, it's just like, you can have him. That whole scene was weird.
Oh, Julia Sweeney.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. But when they get home, the first shot is their townhome. It's fake as fuck. I was like, oh, AI before we're AI. None of the people walking in the street were real. They were fake people. That really pissed me off.
Also, one weird thing.
I was like, for 1999, that pisses me off.
One weird thing, too, and this is so stupid to mention, but it's a 2-story townhome, right? Mm-hmm. There's multiple shots when the boys' rooms are across from each other, and it's George's room is at the top of the stairs, and on the other side of the stairs is Stuart's room. There's a wall on the other side, and there's a wall separating them. There is no door to the parents' room. I mean, I guess it could be downstairs, but I don't know why this bothered me so much. Where are the parents sleeping? Because they show them in the bedroom.
Oh yeah,
That's fucking weird. It's not that weird, because George's room is huge. Anyway, we're not even going to talk about that.
First thing I noticed in the house, too, with the costuming again, Gina Davis is like, her outfit was matching, like, it was matching the house. So they tried within the movie, I don't know if you guys noticed, to match their outfits with the back, like, drop and design of the scene.
I didn't even notice that.
And I just, it like, worked, like, you know, aesthetically, but I don't know why that was a thing. There was no messaging to it.
I was thinking that the entire like production of it was really looking for some whimsy in terms of color palette and the music, which I'll talk about later. But I think it kind of missed the mark because, like you said, it was sort of empty. It's not really serving a purpose for the narrative.
Mm-hmm. Agree. Also, the old-timey pictures. Did you see that? They had pictures of like the uncles and aunts, and he's showing them to them. And they're like pictures of them, what they look like now. Jeffrey Jones, we'll get to that. But they're like old timey, like you would go, like if you went to those things at the beach where they do the old time photos, they were like yellow and like burned edges and like the pictures were ridiculous.
It was like, but why? That's
exactly.
Like, what year is this?
That's what I was trying to figure out, and I'm like, they take pictures later that day because I don't even know the time frame. I'm gonna say this all happened in like 5 days. That's how it felt. The entire movie was like 5 days.
Yeah, you're kind of, yeah.
Maybe it was longer, but there was nothing to show that time had passed. But we'll get to that. Anyway. Also, real quick, when this cat swallowed that mouse, there would be a bloodbath. Yes. The fact that it just keeps it in his mouth and then spits it out when the parents yell at it, it would have ate that thing and ran away, chomped away. There would have been blood all over the place.
But why is everyone just so calm about it? Like, get storing out your mouth.
So if you have a fucking cat who's an asshole, don't get a mouse and have it as a child.
Just the unfazed. And George. So at this point, George hasn't met him yet, right? No.
Yeah, no. George comes out a bit later.
He comes out later.
Just real fast though about the cat. I mean, I almost wonder if this was supposed to be some sort of like a hint that this cat is smarter than we think, because you know it can talk too.
Well, yeah, it can talk, but nobody can hear it.
Well, I was wondering at that point, can all animals talk and just like they're choosing not to?
Or can only Stuart understand the animals because he just is one, but for some reason only certain animals get the special privilege.
Yeah, because there's birds and shit and nobody understands. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
But the cats, as a child, I
think the cat shouldn't have talked. I think they should have scrapped that whole thing. I know it would have. I think it would have taken. And I'm saying this when I say I think the cats are the best part of the movie.
I was just, so as a child, I hated the cats, and I was telling Rachel when I watched with her as an adult, I was like, they make total sense to me.
Yeah, I get it. I'd be pissed too. What the fuck is this doing here? You should have killed it. What are they gonna do? You're a cat. They're not gonna take you out back like Old Yeller.
The whole time I was thinking I should just watch Cat and Dogs or Cats and Dogs.
Yeah,
the movie from 2001.
A better movie, and it's not good.
You know, one fun fact though about the cat is that it's actually the same cat. This cat was also an actor in House.
House.
The show.
Oh, with Hugh Laurie.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, it plays a cat named. It plays a cat named Sarah.
Are you serious? Yo, this cat
yes,
was
I
shocked.
am.
That cat was shocked.
I mean, it's a beautiful cat.
Trained cat.
Do not love how its mouth was moving. Don't love that.
That make you feel icky?
It made me feel a little icky.
Yeah.
It was mostly, honestly, it was mostly the other cat. It was Monty. That I don't know, it had like close-up shots of it talking. And I'm like, I don't like this. This is not good.
Maybe it was, yeah.
Don't make its mouth move.
I do wonder.
I like it better like Look Who's Talking. Was it the third one?
Yeah, it's just the voiceover.
Where it's just the voice and they're not speaking.
I was thinking that too. I was curious on how they got the cats to kind of all collab. Like obviously some probably not real cats, but they were using some real ass cats. So I just wonder how that went down.
I was reading it up, so I didn't find much about Stuart Little, but I was then like, I was wondering if the same animation company or something did Cats and Dogs, and I'm not sure. But what I did find out was that, yeah, they actually do use real cats. Apparently they use lots of treats and like They try and move their faces around, like move their heads around, get them to follow things, and then mix it up with puppets and then some CGI. So I was really just like, how did they do this?
And also those cats that were, the feral outdoor cats, those are looking some mighty meaty feral cats. Those are domesticated cats.
I love the cats. I was like,
I did too. I thought they were the best part. But okay, so then George actually meets. George is the son, and he meets the mouse. He meets Stuart Little. His brother. Which honestly, I'd be pissed too if my parents made me call that thing my brother. Like, no, that is a fucking animal that's going to die in 1 to 3 years because that is the domestic mouse lifespan.
So he's pissed. Doesn't he? Oh, I made a note because when he meets Stuart and is pissed off, George just kind of like slams into his door to go downstairs. Was his room in the basement?
No, it was It was upstairs because it was right across the street, right across the room.
Downstairs because he was upset, and I just thought the direction of that was hysterical. It just cracked me up. He literally body plops onto the camouflage door, and I just noted that because it cracked me up.
And look, I think Jonathan Limnicki is a very cute little kid. I think he's a very cute kid.
Cute.
I think he's a terrible actor.
Oh God!
I think it does work because he's so cute and kind of like innocent and weird. Like it works in certain things, but halfway through the movie, I'm like, oh no, wait, this kid can't act. I kind of forgot about it because I'm like, he's cute, he's adorable. Like it's a very cute world. It's kind of working, and then I'm like, this stone-faced kid who's like, I'm upset, and then he's like, I'm happy, and none of his facial things change. It's all the same.
That's very true.
I thought the only faces he made that were really selling it were the ones of disgust. I did think that when he was looking at him and he's like, it's a mouse.
Oh yeah, that was
Which,
that was
he's
accurate.
the smartest person in this movie because he's the only one that's like, no, what the fuck is going on?
So that's why as a child I remember him like being in many things, and I actually couldn't stand him, and even as a kid, 8, 9, 10, anytime he was in something it pissed me off. Because I was like, I hate this kid. And then when he was in Stuart, I remember focusing more of my hate energy on him. Now when I rewatched it, I was like, this kid is literally right. Everyone is crazy. And why do you have a mouse in the home?
And to be honest, like, he's in this movie a lot. When he was in Jerry Maguire, he was not in it a lot, and it kind of worked. It was fine. He was just there.
Just the thing. He was really
young. He was just a kid.
Right?
So what?
He was really young in that, right? Was he younger?
I'm pretty sure it was the same year.
The same?
98,
It was the same.
99.
He's just a short little kid. I don't know how old
he's
he
a
was.
tiny boy, but now he's jacked.
Yeah. So then there's this like tension, and then what they try to make. I don't know if you have anything in between, because I want to go straight into we're gonna take this mouse shopping.
Is this before or after the washing machine incident? Because I need to talk about that.
Oh, that might be after the washing machine incident.
Okay. Real quick. First of all, my dream in life is to own a laundry chute. Second of all, this mouse in the laundry chute, in the washing machine, if he would have died and the movie would be over, I'd be ecstatic. That's all I have to say about that. But also, you put the mouse in the washing machine, you're obviously not equipped to handle a mouse as a son. You're a terrible parent.
I think if they remade this, what they should do is just have that happen. And so the mouse dies, and then we really do just follow the shenanigans of the cats. Because I thought that there was an interesting movie over there.
Yeah,
That's
no,
actually
100%. I agree with you.
100% more interesting.
I wrote several times, I want a movie that's just Snowball and Monty, except the cat's mouths aren't moving because they're upsetting. And this is before we got into fucking mafia cats, which we'll get into.
Yeah, before we got into mafia cats, I do have a note. I guess I wrote, how did we get here, M. Night? ? And then
This is so shocking that he wrote this.
I wrote, I don't give a fuck about Stuart at some point in the film. It's like,
so wait, so he goes shopping, which I wrote no notes because my mouth was agape, and I just like, what is happening?
So, first of all, they get to, were they at a mall?
Is it, wait, did they already meet the family and stuff? Is this,
No, well, I think
they're getting the clothes for it.
They're getting the clothes for they meet the
All
family.
right.
So they take him shopping. It's like, okay, cool, I guess. But how did the boutique know? Like, here's a little mini.
It's a toy store.
A runway.
It was a toy store, to be fair.
It was a toy store.
It was a toy store.
Are there mini rat clothes at toy stores?
I mean, there's like Barbie clothes, but I feel like Barbie clothes would be girly and
I think it was for like a G.I. Bob or something.
And Ken doesn't wear.
Are they that small?
They didn't.
feel
They
like-
looked bigger on the toy, but
There's
like
a
I guess
rat
they
size.
fit in.
I was drinking a lot of wine during this. I don't.
There's like size R5.
In my defense,
for
I just
rat.
watched it this morning.
Oh, okay. All right, so you're fresh.
You're
Yeah,
more
yeah,
fresh
got
than
it.
we are. Yes.
We
yes,
watched
yeah.
another movie for
I
our
was
second
more-
episode.
I guess I was just taken back because I was like, how the fuck are they taking this rat or mouse? I'm sorry.
At this
Wear-
point, nothing's phased me, Taryn. I'm
and
like,
then,
this is all
he
makes
doesn't
sense
wear
to
regular
me.
clothes. He pops out in a tuxedo. Like
Oh,
a
yeah, okay.
Suit.
Yeah, old timey suit. It was like wool. He was wearing like a wool suit.
Also, we need to pause on everything. How do we feel about the animation of Stuart? It wasn't as bad as I thought.
So I kept looking at it, trying to hate it, and it wasn't great. But honestly, it didn't like upset me as much as the cat snuff. Like that upset me so much more.
Well, one thing that's funny is it was up against the Matrix in terms of CGI. So just
Same year, right?
yeah, it lost to it, but
Well, I'm
just
sure the Matrix had a little bit more money than Stuart Little. They spent all their money on Gina Davis and Michael J. Fox.
He's so serious right now. Like, you're not kidding.
no, it was up against it. Yeah, for an award. I forget whatever the Academy Awards. Yeah,
Was it the Oscar?
yeah, or whatever,
You're
whichever.
joking.
One.
No,
Yeah,
I
for
have
best
some notes-
animation.
I have some notes at the end.
I mean, I guess it's like not. I think the cats
I mean,
actually
it was
are.
1999.
I think the
but-
cats are actually timelessly good. I think that he's like a little odd, and like I think the composition, like actually putting him in the frames is sometimes odd, especially with like
Yeah.
light
You can
occlusion
tell
and stuff.
it's the light. You can tell that he's not really there.
Yeah.
But his animation isn't.
It's not perfect.
Bad.
It's not, you're right. And there was way too many scenes of Gina Davis kissing this mouse, and it actually didn't look as awkward and weird as I thought it, like, as she was going in, I'm like, and like, actually, it's because Gina Davis, she can never do wrong in my eyes, but
That's fair.
she did an amazing job to nothing, and I thought that it looked okay. It wasn't great.
It wasn't.
It looked
the
okay.
worst. I was scared going in.
I was looking for reasons to hate it. and
My biggest
hated
complaint.
it for different reasons.
My biggest complaint with the animation was his smile that he defaulted to so much was
Yeah.
very toothy and
crying was weird.
Well, I just thought that his smile was very evil looking. Like again, you keep saying like mouse or rat, but like that was a rat. Like that was like an evil rat smile from like a 1930s cartoon. It made me very unsettled. I'm like, is he evil?
Well, I got a review I need to read later that you guys, other people might agree with you. About this time is where he meets the family, and I said Jeffrey Jones Wolf because Jeffrey Jones is a great actor. It sucks.
What are you doing in here?
It just sucks because, he's not acting anymore because of the issues. I wrote another thing. He had some child porn issues later in life.
Surprise.
That was that guy. I
Yeah,
forgot. I was like, he
yeah.
looks familiar for something bad.
Which why every time I see movies that he's in, it kind of upsets. Like he was hugging and touching this kid a little too much for my liking, and in a normal person, it wouldn't bother me. But the fact that he was touching this kid and hugging it and rubbing, I don't know. Anyway, we're not gonna get into that.
And he never even
Okay.
touched the mouse.
He did. I know. He's like, that's not real. I need real. No. Sorry.
I'm dead.
So just say that because it sucks because Jeffrey Jones he's a good actor. He's not doing great in this movie, and also I can never look at him the same again. And fuck him. He's a piece of shit. So we can go back on. Oh God. Okay. There was one scene where Stuart Little gives a little bit of a little speech to his
Oh, that
family.
pissed me off. Go on.
Fairy tales are real. I'm with Snowball.
I think that's the moment where I said I don't give a fuck about Stuart. Like you
And
give a speech,
and the thing
and then
is-
like the music, the score. That's a whole other thing. I do want to get into, but you give this speech, and I'm already supposed to be feeling like happy for you,
And you lived here for
don't.
like 5 hours.
Yeah, I don't feel happy for you at all.
And also, okay, I understand this is a kids movie, right? It's not for us.
Right.
But like,
No, you know what? It was for me.
but
and
okay,
I don't
it was.
give a- I don't give
and
a
you
fuck
watched it
about
a million times. But here's the thing: I have a 3.5-year-old daughter. I am never ever gonna show this to her. Now, if she sees it at her father's or grandparents or at school or at kid's house, and she has to watch it, I'll put it
Anyway,
on.
play that movie
But
as
there is
good.
no fucking way I'm gonna be like, you know what you need to watch? Stuart Little. she's gonna have. It's the same shit with Cocomelon. Unless you ask for
I
it,
don't
that
think
shit
she'll
does
like it.
not even walk.
I don't think
That
she'll like
doesn't
it.
even. I don't know.
She may like the cat.
She liked Cat in the Hat, and then that was
that
almost
was
that was
upsetting.
almost a trip to the orphanage. Let me tell you. But yeah, like looking at it in that, because I have a little bit more grace for kids movies because it's not for me, and I like to watch my child enjoy something, and I'm like, this doesn't give any good messages. I know they're trying the message about, it doesn't matter what you look like, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yes, that's true,
That's
but
not
this
even
is,
the
you're not the same species. This is not being a different race. This is not being a different sexual orientation. This is about being a different species.
What, you being a New York City
You are a
mouse?
rodent that has 14 months to live, and then that is it.
I mean, that might be why the 5 hours was enough time to just be like, wow, this is my whole life. Because, relatively speaking, that's a significant portion of his life.
do it before this mouse gets gray hair.
So ridiculous. He's
already white.
Gray. He's already gray. He's already a white mouse.
Starts balding at the top. They gotta give him a little.
Fuck that mouse.
That's in the 4th movie.
Also, everyone has an empty space. Not just this mouse. Everybody has empty space. Deal with it. That's part of being a person.
Oh, does this go right into him being in their bed at night?
Yeah, which by the way,
go
the
on.
reaction was very much like, oh no, a mouse! Oh, actually, it's like, oh, I know, I was crushing him. I'm like,
Yeah. Okay.
That is like number 5 of where he would have been murdered.
So another thing, that's just fucking weird because I don't know. My brain goes straight to like, what if they were fucking? Obviously, this is a children's
Okay,
film.
I thought the same thing.
But then also, you don't even make yourself known. You're like, oh, I was coming to talk, but then you're just under them. Fucking weird ass mouse.
Yeah, sleep at the bottom of the bed, and when they wake up, be like, hey, by the way, I'm over here. Don't kick me.
Freaking weird. But also, I'm gone at you being everyone has an empty space. Like the darkness in that statement is hilarious.
Okay, so he says he has empty space when he's almost killed in that bed. Again, everyone has an empty space.
The darkness.
You're also in my notes I wrote, your real parents are dead, bro. Also, okay, so then this is like, I think the next day where for some reason the child is home alone with the mouse because the parents aren't there. And this is where we meet Monty, the other cat that comes in. Voiced by Steve Zahn, which again, I thought actually the cats were okay. I didn't like the mouse moving, but I liked the voice acting. I liked the cats' interactions with each other. I just want to say, if I saw that mouse get into he was in a box of goldfish or something, his whole entire fucking body was in there.
I said that.
I would throw up.
I said that.
he was very clean, according to the doctor.
Well, he was very clean.
I'm just glad that you were triggered.
Fuck you. I can't believe you mentioned that. I almost wrote that down and I said, I'm not even writing that down. That was so stupid. Yeah, I'm like, they left this kid alone. He's 5. Because the mouse ends up running up into the boy's room, George's room. And the boy's just there, just being sneaky and weird, and he's fucking around with his boat or the trains, or I don't even know what he was
goes
doing.
to like that basement.
Yeah, that's all in the basement.
Oh, that was in the
Yeah, that was
basement.
in the basement.
Okay,
that's
that's when
like-
I thought his room was like giant, because I'm like,
He doesn't live in a lair, no.
Yeah.
He just has a lair.
Wait, I have it to.
I thought it was weird that the stairs went down. I was like, that's strange, but whatever.
Well,
It's New York.
backwards to everything else. We forgot when they first put like Stuart in the bed. No, you're fine. I was like, cat. when they first put Stuart in the bed, his bed is giant, and I was like, okay, fine, you didn't prepare. But then he has like the vanity set.
Oh, okay, in the bathroom? Yeah, had they had a day to get that together?
I was like, how did y'all? Because you just brought him and you took him back, but the bed's huge.
Yeah,
It
well, they
just
probably-
doesn't seem very safe.
they probably already had that set up because they were like, we're gonna bring. They knew they were getting a little boy
Well,
because
they knew they were getting
Yeah,
a little boy.
well, they didn't know that there was gonna be a talking mouse because come run into that every day.
I just wanted to note that I just thought that was stupid.
yeah,
I thought that was odd, and also they were able to get. He has small books, he has a small vanity, all the things are miniature, except he still has to use a human-sized toothbrush.
Okay, yes.
Oh my god.
He was killing it with that toothbrush though. He was getting in all his crevices.
Hysterical.
Okay,
Okay, so back to the basement. So we know that this is supposed to be the turning point bonding scene between George and Stuart.
yes.
Or the start of
So okay,
their week.
and I understand there has to be a bonding scene, right? This scene was like 2 minutes. It was like, I hate you. They rode a fucking train, And then they're BFFs.
Also, how
then
do
he's
we
like,
feel?
take this car.
How do we feel about the appropriateness? Okay, I'm thinking in the fact I used to work in kids animation and just the appropriateness of Stuart pretending to get ran over by the train. I don't know. That's just where my mind went.
I
I
mean,
was like, it's
that
fine.
didn't bother me because
was
I was like,
silly.
maybe this thing will actually die.
Well, I was only pleased by the end of the bit where he like wrapped himself. I didn't realize that it wasn't George that was like, I'm going to wrap Stuart to this train and pretend I went to kill him. So when Stuart jumped up, I was like, okay, it's fun.
That's kind of where I was like, yeah, there's a darker movie in this that would have been more interesting, and a lighter-hearted movie that also would have been more interesting. And this, it flip-flops between tones so quickly that it's like, what? I was honestly thinking at that point, like, wow, I really wish this movie was longer. Because they could have gone through it.
No. It was just long enough was an hour
Absolutely not.
84 minutes.
An hour and 24 minutes. Which, let me tell you, I paused a lot to be like, how much more do I have? How much more do I have?
That's actually kind of nuts that it was that short.
But yeah.
I'm used to, 2 hours and 45 minutes now that they make us sit through for some reason.
At this point, when he shows him the boat, I'm like, he's going to ride in this boat, isn't he? Like, he's going to ride in this boat. Something there.
The funny thing is, I forgot all about it until I saw the scene.
I didn't see this movie before, but I knew as soon as I saw that boat, as soon as they mentioned that boat, I'm like, that fucking mouse is going to get in that boat and save the day.
Talking about the boat, can I just say, who paints like that? Only the front was painted with all the colors. Like, it wasn't even like a base color or anything. It was just like, oh, we just kind of painted a third of the boat.
Right, though. I noticed that.
They did state
that the whole base of it was.
There was a scene between the dad and the son where apparently the dad was like, "Hey, are we ever gonna finish that boat?" And the son's like, "I don't know, man." Like, okay, your son has ADD. That's what it is. Get him medicated.
Like you could see what the boat was already supposed to look like, and he's like, "Me and my dad never finished it." It's like.
Yeah, but apparently, okay, so we were talking off mic that you guys had been like, oh, the dad didn't. There was a scene earlier that had said that the son was the reason. The son didn't want to finish the boat. And the dad was asking him, like, we should finish the boat. And he's like, I don't want to, like, blah, blah, blah.
Interesting.
Because if you're not first, you're last. I mean, we all know that.
Yeah, bullshit or whatever. And you find out later that he's bullied by this fucking...
That you never see again.
...shit kid who... this little rich boy, right?
I remember as a kid, I thought he was pretty cool.
Well, actually, you know what? He was pretty cool. Because he cheated and nobody called him out. Actually, everybody cheated. Stuart Little cheated.
Yeah, because he's in the boat.
He cheated. He's in the fucking boat. He's driving it. Like, that has to be in the rule books. Like, little mice can't ride in your boat. You have to have a remote control.
Yeah. What a specific rule to have on the
I mean, if that's not a rule, then why is hitting other boats with your boat not a rule? Like, that, they're all cheaters, and... You know what?
Are we going to talk about that scene? Because,
Yeah.
I think...
Let's get into
Wait,
it.
right before we get to that scene, what pissed me off again, because I just kept getting, like, slightly triggered throughout this movie, was when Gina Davis and Hugh Laurie run downstairs, and they're like, Stuart, they're like, George, have you seen your brother? Pay attention to where your fucking mouse kid is.
Yeah, okay, well... They left both of them home alone with this cat who's been, like, slobbering over this mouse.
Honestly, the cat just felt disrespected. Like,
Honestly,
how the hell am I
should
gonna have?
him and the kid should have their own movie. Well,
It's the same dynamic as
the kid needs to
as-
take
as-
acting lessons and then have his own movie.
It's the same because it's the same shit as like Goofy, Disney reference being, a functioning dog, but then somehow Mickey owns Pluto. It's the same type of weird ass shit.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that is really weird.
because they're both dogs. Anyway.
Well, and I feel like that was almost an interesting plot point, but doesn't really get used
They
at
don't even
all.
delve into
Yeah.
it like of the. I almost said gender roles. The gender roles of cats and mice.
Well, also, okay, I'm sorry. As a parent, I understand you have to let your kid fight their own battles. They are sitting around this child who is distraught because, his boat's not working. And these little fucking pieces of shit are coming up and calling their son a loser. You're a loser. You're a loser. And they're just sitting there like, are you okay? Are you... No! Get your ass up and be like, who the fuck did you call a loser? I'm sorry. I don't care. As a parent, this kid is 5. He's probably older than that. He looks 5. I don't know. He's the same size as my child who's 3.5. No, get the fuck up. Who you calling a loser? You want to call somebody a loser? Call me a fucking loser. These parents are terrible. They're terrible people. You live in New York.
New York, which is
New
just
York,
a
quote, unquote.
Central Park bridge with a
No,
green
I fucking
screen
hate it.
backdrop.
Get involved. Get involved.
That
Why are you not
backdrop.
getting involved? You're literally these children. Let me talk to your fucking parents. That's what I would say. You don't want to get involved in this kid. You don't want to say like, hey,
The Central Park
get in their
residents.
fucking face. Where are your parents? Where are your parents? Let me talk to your parents. Bet those kids be shitting their pants.
Their bow ties.
Maybe that's why
Yeah,
he's so
both
upset. Maybe
sides.
he doesn't have parents.
Yeah, he probably doesn't.
Good parents. No one in this film is a good parent. So yeah, how do we feel about
Then
the
that's
boat
how
scene
you
in
that's how you
general?
manipulate them. You're like, where are your parents? Oh, they left you alone. Oh, it's probably because they don't love you. Oh man, that sucks. Guess we know who the loser is. No, I actually would not say that to a child.
I think. I'm just gonna say, just going back to the merits of the boat scene, that
Hey, we're in the boat scene.
I think it was the coolest thing until Pirates of the Caribbean. Just saying, I thought it was sick because I remember as a kid being like, "Yo, I want to play destructive boats with RC boats." Like,
Yeah, that would be cool in theory, but like not with these little rich boys. They're not trying to fuck each other's boats up. They're trying to win a race.
yeah, but he does fuck their boats
does
up,
fuck
and
their
it's
boats up.
awesome.
And there, yeah, there's no rules. It's just
And nobody calls what is the thing called when you're cheating? You know.
just
Yeah, foul, yeah.
Like,
nobody calls foul.
disqualified. That one?
Disqualified,
Yeah,
yeah. Nobody.
yeah.
Also, this guy's boat was bigger than. There has to be measurement requirements, right? I
There's
feel
gotta
like when
be-
you do stuff like this, there's like I entered a thing during Science Olympiad, and this was a school function event, but we had to make a car, and it was very specific on, you know, the size of the wheels, the size of the engine thing that went on into the remote part, the size of the car is very, very specific. The weight, all that stuff. Very specific dimensions, very specific. Like, I feel like, I know this is probably just the park. It's probably like, you know, fucking, I don't even know what park this is. Central Park, fucking boat race. Like, come have fun.
I thought it was interesting too that the parents didn't even know when the race was. If this was such an important thing, like, do they do this all the time?
Yeah.
Is this just what these children do
Yeah.
in this little fake New York?
It's not like a Boy Scout fucking sanctioned event. It's like just in the park. Like, I don't know, whatever. Just give these kids a reason to not deal drugs.
I think for me, all I could focus on was the Central Park fake of it all. It just really bothered me. I couldn't get past it. I couldn't get past it.
I had said something in my head when these people were passing out those flyers later about being in Central Park after dark, and one of the fucking mice or the cat said something later like, "Yo, this is Central Park after dark, man. You gotta be careful."
That's funny.
And I'm like, these white ass fucking losers with their pleat pants are walking through like da 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 da. I'm like, somebody's getting mugged.
so many people in this movie should have gotten mugged. So,
okay,
oh, it's so
fucking-
like George has like a weird confrontation with the bully, ends up like punching him or something.
Does he punch him?
Yeah, he does.
I couldn't remember
or
if
like
he
knocks-
tackles him.
He tackles him.
Okay, yeah. Okay, something like
And they get
that.
into a fight, which I was kind of like,
Good.
okay, so he's not a wickaweenie kid. He
Yeah.
will beat you the fuck up.
But they never show the fact that, like, Stuart is the reason. Like, he acts like Stuart's the reason, like, he's a better person. Like, no, he didn't give him the, like, he didn't give him the confidence to do
No,
that.
Stuart didn't do anything for anybody.
He didn't do shit. He was just a nuisance.
to
everybody.
And then the scene just, because nothing really came out. There was no reprimanding.
Also, the bully kid called him, he's a stupid rat.
That's right. That's when I
And
realized
that's when
it
I
was
said,
a
I like this
slur.
kid.
That's when I was like, oh, I was like, I agree. I remember that because I wrote that.
Same, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. He's a stupid rat.
He is a stupid rat.
We go into. I feel
So
like
now we're getting into the part where I mean, he obviously
Get
wins.
along.
He wins the fucking thing. The kid and the
get
mouse.
along, they
They're like
like each
BFFs.
other.
Oh my god, you're my brother. Blah blah blah.
They take the very important picture.
Yeah.
Very important picture.
Discuss.
Okay, yeah, they take the picture, which is great. It's
the
so
iconic
great.
Picture.
Then the parents come, and as soon as they showed up, the Stuart Little's parents,
Yeah.
I said, "Are these parents con artists?" I've never seen this movie, and I caught that immediately.
My first was, it's Jennifer Tilly.
Oh yeah,
was
love
so
Jennifer
excited.
Tilly.
Also, it's literally just the plot of Annie on Broadway. Like, the two parents, I've been waiting. We lost you long ago. I
I'd
was
be like, all right, you're not taking this mouse until I get my fucking adoption deposit back. You know how expensive it is to adopt a kid?
Well, I mean, it did seem like they just gave the mouse away for
They
free.
literally
They were like, "Oh,
gave
you want it?
him away."
Okay, bye."
He's leaving little droppings all over the floor.
But before that happened, the alley cats, they got together. They got together. They had their little
that was
chat,
good. I like
and
that
that's when
scene.
we got to see all the variety of. We were like, these cats are really pretty cats.
But do we only see the one? Then we only see Smokey, right?
We saw Smokey, and then the gray cat emerged again, and then I think there was like 2 gray cats.
There was like 2 other cats that I thought came in at the end. There was
the
a Siamese cat. There was
so
the orange cat.
It was just Smokey because
Smokey is the mafia cat, which I said later. I said again, mafia cats are the best. And I said new movie idea, mafia cats.
I'd watch that.
Dude, I'd watch that too. We should write it now. Well, I feel like the 3 of us, we can write a script.
We won't have moving mouse though. We won't trigger.
Again,
mouse.
we're gonna keep it very like thought bubbles because people shouldn't be able to hear them. So also Stuart Little's new place where he goes with the new family, like, is kind of baller. It like fits all of his needs. He has like an appropriate sized bed. It's kind of like a mini castle. It's kind of dope.
That. I was like, why they got a full ass home?
I know, right? I'd be like, all right, sick. Also, they know what I'm going through. They know my adversities. I'm not getting almost murdered 500 times a day.
Why do these mice also talk?
I was really wondering if there was maybe any amount of like in the earlier stages of production were they actually going to introduce a more vibrant animal talking world, like. Are mice? Is there like a mouse that's the mayor or something? Like, is this a thing?
How did Smokey find these people?
Yeah, like what do they do?
That's also true because you don't like mice, but you find some to pretend to be
It's
this
fucking
mouse.
weird. You would just
to,
go and kill it
to help Snowball, but you don't really care about Snowball because he's a domestic cat.
Well,
also, Snowball would have just killed it and buried it in the yard. And guess what? Oh, he ran away. Oh, okay, it's fine.
Well, that's true. I mean, but I feel like Snowbell was. I feel like Snowbell wasn't able, like, didn't have the guts to do that.
For the family.
But
Snowbell is Nathan Lane. I feel like he's a little bit of a conscience.
I will defend the plot here and say that they were like the reason they knew the mice. The whole thing was that the mice were doing it because they owed the cat something, and then that was like the whole thing at the end is that like once it comes time to scratch them out, they're like, oh no, we have to do it because we owe them. I don't know what they owe them. What kind of like weird business do they have?
Why would
They're
you
probably being
cats?
killed, and they were like, no, we owe you. And he's like, I'm gonna put that in the mafia book.
It's like, what would you owe cats as a mouse? That's where I'm like,
Your life.
Hello?
Or else they know where you
What did you
live
do for
in that amazing castle house.
That was so ridiculous. But
I loved it.
They just accept that like these are Stuart's parents.
I was pretty nervous, by the way, though, when he was like, I started thinking about it. He said, like, don't let the bed bugs bite. And then he's like, no, but really, the bed bugs. And I was thinking, like, a bed bug would be kind of scary large to a mouse, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, they're not that big, but, like,
It's like a roach to a mouse.
Maybe-
No, it would be bigger than that, because you can, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
a mouse is this big, right? I mean, it would be like the size of a cat to us, right?
in which case maybe it'd be easier just to kick it away. I don't know. That could have been a fun scene. Just get real close and watch him just, like, kicking away.
There were so many things that could
I'd be
have
like,
been
don't let the
fun.
fleas bite, because those can actually cause damage to you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's animals.
So many things could have been fun. Most were questionable.
Yeah. We could rewrite this movie, and it'd be better.
Yes. It needs to be dark and brooding.
Yeah, it should be, and it should follow these mafia cats.
So you
Mafia.
really just wanna do
Stuart
Mafia
Little,
cats.
Stuart Little 5, because there's 4 of these motherfuckers.
There's 4? I thought there was
three?
only 3.
Maybe there's 3. Okay, Stuart
Oh
Little
my
4,
God.
Mafia Cats.
Oh my god.
Written, directed, screenplay by. We'll get M. Night Shyamalan on this.
You need to
What
rewrite.
are your thoughts?
need to
You did some
rewrite-
good work with those Mafia Cats.
You need to rewrite your wrongs
I-
on many things.
Like, realistically, I was thinking that this entire movie would have been a lot more interesting if it was more like Elephant Man, and if this was just a child with like a real big deformity. Well, real small, I guess, but and if that was what they decided, they're like, this is a weird child, deal with it. I don't know, maybe a
more
curse or
sense.
something. Throw it in there, make it
Because
magical.
Being a mouse isn't like you're not disabled. Like you just actively chose to bring a mouse home instead of real humans.
and you're living in a place where it's not suitable for your needs. So, okay, this point in the movie is my too fucking... And I texted you, Taryn, last night that I had a laugh out loud moment. We're going to get to that in a second. But there was a moment where the adoption woman, Julia Sweeney, comes to the house. They talk about it. They find out that the parents weren't the parents.
Yep.
And she says his real parents died in a tragic cream of mushroom soup incident. And I did a little chuckle. But my laugh out loud moment was when the police come to the house. They file a police report for this missing mouse. And the guy takes tweezers and takes the peanut out and puts it in an evidence bag. I cackled in my house. And I know it's not just, but it was the only time I actually was like, this is fucking funny.
That's funny. I love that.
Going back to the peanuts, though, I gotta say this was some poor writing on Shyamalan's part. When
Maybe it was Greg Booker.
no.
Maybe it was Greg Booker.
Oh, I'm not talking about that. Oh, good point. But like when after eating 2 of these peanuts, the fake father says, "Are these salted?" Like what? He just ate 2 of them.
It's like a whole turkey. I didn't even know that.
Ew.
But how did he know they were not?
How did
Like
you
you
not
just
know?
ate 2 of these. You could taste them, can't you?
I didn't even think about that. I just thought it was funny that a mouse was eating peanuts, and I love that they brought it back later in the evidence bag.
That the script again left much
This
to
is
be
This is
desired.
another note that I wrote at this point that said, "Oh, good, the toy car has real car functions," because they put the. We didn't mention that he gets a fucking roadster.
That's right. I forgot about that because George gave him
Yeah,
that car.
the Roadster,
That's right.
which is a pretty dope car. But at this point, the Roadster convertible is down. I'm like, oh, okay, so it's working functions. It also has gas, apparently, doesn't run by a remote control.
Well, that was something I thought was very strange too. Yeah, during the chase with the cats, right afterwards, he had to hit an ignition switch.
Yeah,
It's battery powered theoretically, so I thought that was just odd.
There would be an
Just-
ignition switch on the car, yeah.
Yeah, it was just like throwing in some like that could have been solved any other way to create the same drama. Like, oh, he's stuck on a twig or something. It did not need to be weird engine troubles.
Yeah, that would have been better, actually. Again, this is in my notes where I wrote Stuart Little should be super dead, because this is when he drives. It was kind of reminding me of the Michael J. Fox thing when he was driving through the tunnel, and I'm like, oh, remember that tunnel where he met the guy, and it was the first or the second Back to the Future,
Oh,
when he hands him the letter. Maybe I'm misremembering that, but there was like a tunnel scene, like right before he gets in the tunnel in the car, where he hands him the letter.
Yeah, that's the second one.
This is the second one? Okay. I was thinking about that scene, and I was like,
feel bad
oh.
for the fake parents though, because I was like, why don't you just want to stay where you belong?
So then I said, when you went back and fucking Snowbell was giving you that shit, why are you sleeping in a nest? Go back to that family and be like, hey, how about I live here? You guys obviously like me. You're obviously like, there's an empty space, quote unquote. Like, go back there, man. They didn't not hate
It's
having
like
you.
your aunt and uncle. Like, go see them.
Hey, you're a talking mouse. I'm a talking mouse. We all only have like 6 months to live. Let's live it up in his castle.
We should have had a death meter for Annie of like, I'm counting down.
I was literally thinking. I looked it up because I'm like, he keeps saying like, oh, his parents died years ago, and I'm like, years ago.
How old is this?
I'm like, how fucking old is this mouse? Doesn't have much time.
It's
Like,
a man mouse.
he's on like cancer time. Like, I got 6 months to live, man. Live it up.
I mean, that was definitely weird because also when they first meet him, he's like, well, when you've been here as long as I have. I was like,
I mean, I guess
I'm gonna say that he's like living on a magical timeline, but still, like, how long have you been there? Is he like 18?
Yeah, like, is he going to school? Like, what is the deal? It's weird.
Do we
I
even
don't know.
have schools? Man, this movie could have
Yeah.
I mean, if their recess is just them in their bedroom, I'm guessing
Yeah.
school is just their self-study,
Stuart
just
Little
reading
too.
books.
Maybe Stuart Little too.
He
I
should have went to
forgot
What's
about
His
that one.
Face. Did you see Stuart Little too?
I did, but I don't remember it.
Yeah. Well, M. Night Shyamalan did not rate
He didn't rate it,
and
so-
neither did Greg Brooker. So
Well, that says a lot.
maybe we'll do like
About who wanted to
maybe
write the
maybe
film.
we'll do a Patreon episode at some point.
Just
Ian, you
watch-
come back. We watch
Stuart Little
Little
2.
too.
I'm game.
Yeah, I would watch it. I don't remember it, so it'd be perfect.
As it came out of my mouth, I'm like, don't set yourself up for this, Annie. Don't do this
It's
to
too
yourself.
late. It's too late now. We're in
I will
franchise.
say, I did have a lot of fun. This movie is trash, but I had a lot of fun watching it.
Yeah.
And I have 6 pages of notes. I could not stop writing.
So when he gets free, drives his fucking car back to the house, and that's where Snowbell, cons him into thinking they don't love him anymore, and they carve out just the head of his picture. Of his body.
to put on that fucking
because they realize
also they
The
wouldn't
flyer.
put the picture back up. They take the picture down, cut it out, and the picture would go in a drawer or something, right?
Yeah, but I don't. Again, this is 19. Well, it's 19
19
something.
blah blah blah.
I was like, you could just
Also,
snapshot that,
when he
but-
came home, when he came home, this is the time to just fucking eat him. Snowbell, they think he's missing. Chomp, chomp, chomp. That they already think he's gone. Give him like 3 weeks. Problem solved. All right, guess what? We're going back to the orphanage. We're gonna get a replacement kid. Maybe we'll get a fucking pigeon that can talk and live in our house.
Hey, you ever see Spies in Disguise? Anyway,
No, I have not. And unless I have to watch it for the show, I'm not going to.
It's Will Smith as a pigeon, but not that I've seen that. Yes,
Also,
you're correct.
so he leaves, right? Stuart Little leaves.
Yes.
This is a line which I think was
To go live in a fucking nest.
and all the cats are looking for him, and this is when Smokey says one of my favorite lines. I lied. Welcome to Manhattan, and I did have a little chuckle at that because I thought that was pretty funny.
Why is Stuart
Again,
in this?
the mafia cats are the best part of this movie.
Why is Stuart in a tree?
Exactly.
You
I mean,
got-
it makes
you are a mouse.
it makes sense in the sense that he wants to be up high. It's harder for him to get trampled, mugged, run over by a car. However, if you're in a nest there was eggs in that nest, that bird is going to peck your eyes out
Stupid.
because it thinks you're It's
Stuart doesn't have awareness as to like cats want to eat you. He's like a little privileged fuck ass mouse.
yes, yes, you're right.
Cat.
So then Stuart Little gives this little fucking stupid speech, something about fairy tales real,
Again.
blah, 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 blah. And I said, this is where he convinced the cats to be good. My next note was cat murder. Snowbell sees the error of his ways, tries to protect him, and then Snowbell, I mean, let's be real, murders these cats. They fall into the river, and I know they say, oh my god.
They all come out.
They all come out. Okay, but when Smokey falls in the water, he says, oh, I'm alive, and then all you hear are dogs. Rawr, 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 rawr. And he goes, ah!
As if dogs eat cats.
And then it cuts, and I'm like, that cat got murdered. And I want
Poor
that story.
Smokey.
I know I like Smokey. Smokey was played by somebody famous, too. I looked up all the cat voices, because, again, I thought the cat voices were the best part.
How did you feel about
Smokey
the
was
climax?
Chaz Palminteri,
Ooh.
who was in Usual Suspects, Bronx Tale. And that's why I looked him up. He was in some Law and Order episodes.
That would make sense.
Just because, like, he had a very, like, mafia voice. Okay, other ones were David Alan Grier was one of the cat voices. I don't know who that was. This guy, Bruno Kirby, who was in a bunch of stuff. And he was in a bunch of stuff. Anyway, again, Mafia Cats, best start. My favorite part of this movie was the credits. And then I said, scratch that, this song is atrocious.
Yes. So that song was actually submitted to be for an award as well for the best original song made for a movie that year. It didn't even make it to the short list, but yeah, it was.
Wow.
It's "You're Where I Belong" by Diane Warren. It was pretty bad.
So the soundtrack, I don't know if you guys checked out the soundtrack for this film beforehand, like the actual like artist who made music, who I don't know who they are.
Alan
but,
Silvestri.
But I do like just like the backdrop, like the music, not the songs, but,
Okay.
but like just, you know, the theme song. I always remember it's like, like decent.
Okay.
I didn't have an issue with
I
it.
didn't notice it, so I guess it's fine.
Yeah, didn't have an issue with the music. There were I was like, I accept the music in this movie. I just wish it was accompanied by better scenes.
Right.
Well, I think that's actually really interesting because I found the music very frustrating. Like the score.
I didn't notice it, so we got 3 reviews.
The score to me was just, they were really milking that one set. Like there's like a little.
I know what you're talking about.
And they just kept playing it over and over.
Yeah.
stuff.
But like to me, I felt like the music, all of it was way too serious for something that's supposed to be whimsical and sort of silly. Which again just goes to the theme of the movie.
Was it even supposed to be? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. And just to go back, so Alan Silvestri, like this is the composer who did like almost all of Robert Zemeckis' films. So like Back to the Future, Forrest Gump, all that stuff. Also did Practical Magic. Also did a lot of other types of movies like Predator and like all kinds of extremely famous movies from that era in particular. And so I was just like, I was surprised that I found it so lackluster. And I think that it's not their fault. I think it was just that the mood, like
they're trying to find the mood of the movie.
Exactly. I think they were just like they probably just were kind of given like, here's the general idea, came up with an interesting score, and then it's like, oh, this doesn't really fit the theme. I don't know if there is a theme, the vibe. So I don't know. I was definitely disappointed by it.
I can understand that there was like was a lot of here's the music. Obviously, music is not supposed to tell you how you're supposed to feel. I feel like music.
Well, yeah, it sets a mood.
Yeah, but music, and I feel like in film and TV is supposed to bring you in, not like tell you. Because I did feel like when certain bad things were happening to Stuart, the music was so over. It's like you're supposed to be feeling this way.
Yeah, this is a sad scene.
Yeah, but I like just the general theme of like in. Like the first 3 scenes, like when you are in that house, because that's just like the Stuart Little theme. But the rest, yeah, it was very like, you feel this thing, and we're not going to give you any acting or any script to actually bring you into that moment of feeling at all. I feel like that only works when like something like you're in an action film and it's like there's big things happening to accompany the loud noise,
or like a horror movie where you're like building up to something. Yeah. So basically, Snowball takes him back to the house.
Oh, I have a line from here that really just took me out when he was taking him back to the house, and Snowball says, Stuart says, I've never ridden a cat bareback before.
Oh,
and
I was like, oh.
I was just like, yo.
I was like, same, bruh.
I was like, I know. I know. It just really...
Also, Snowball should... I mean, I know he acknowledged it, but, like, Snowball should have brought that... Snowbell should have brought that mouse in and been like, look, if anything happens to this mouse, I saved it, so, like, you know that it wasn't me. And then he should have fucking killed it, because that thing is not long for this world. Stop letting this family become attached to this fucking mouse.
I don't even know why they're attached. Oh, and then... Oh, yeah, that speech that we go back to before the other the other cats supposedly die. I hate it. He's not just a mouse, he's family from Snowbell. And then the little high, little ho.
That sounded very Vin Diesel. When you're not here, your family. Or that's Olive Garden. But
Just back to that line though, the bareback cat. I also was not like, I think. Shyamalan, if you're hearing this, you didn't get that one past us, and also because that no, I don't know. This was definitely felt like they were patting themselves on the back because this was a follow up to a previous line of Snowbells that also had me like really cringe because it was I have to go back to licking myself, and that'll take all day if you know what you're doing, and I'm like, okay, weird.
Oh.
I did not hear that, but I don't. Also, coming from Nathan Lane, who I love, hearing that come from him would be even more grotesque.
Yeah, it's like there were a lot of lines in this that were supposed to be something.
Voice. If you know what you're doing.
It was a throwaway from the birdcage.
The birdcage. Okay, so I have a little bit of IMDb trivia that I'd like to read. I went through, there was a lot of trivia.
Sure.
So I read through a couple things that I thought were funny. It was the first film to hit the #1 spot in the new millennium.
That's sad.
It's sad. This is another one which I don't know why was in the IMDb trivia, but I had to write it down because maybe somebody can explain it. The Littles family washing machine is a modified 1998 Frigidaire Gallery FWT 4456 ES2 front loader.
I was wondering in what era you could get a washing machine that would actually open mid-cycle to make that mess.
I was wondering that as well.
Yeah.
And my first thought was, how did they film that? For the water, like, What did you?
I mean, they probably just took out the lock, or unless you're saying that this model doesn't have auto lock.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. We have to look it up. So I have a little bit of a trivia question for you guys. There was a lot of people that were considered for the voice of Snowbell. As we know, Nathan Lane was the Snowbell. So there was, I'm going to name 3 names of actors, and only one of them was considered for the voice of Snowbell.
Okay.
So I want you guys to tell me which one you think it was. Danny DeVito, Bill Murray, or Dan Aykroyd?
Danny.
Well, I mean, I was thinking Eddie Murphy, but if that's not on the list, I would say, wait, who'd you say again?
Danny DeVito, Bill Murray.
Yeah, Bill Murray. I could see Bill Murray maybe. He did go for Garfield a few years later.
I did trick you guys. It was all 3 of them.
Oh. Well, that checks out.
So I have one more thing I want to read.
Another cat.
I also went through the reviews.
It would have been better casting.
Yes.
Sorry.
I went through the reviews, and this movie was rated an average of 6 out of 10 stars on IMDb, which actually is it's a pretty decent review.
High enough for a family movie or a horror.
So I went through the 1-star reviews, and I found a couple 1-star reviews that I thought were too funny to not address. One especially that I want to read. This is from RFKQNPC on IMDb. This was written July 14th, 2021, I'm sorry.
That's a big difference.
Yes. 2021, this is 3 years ago. This mouse just makes me undesirably angry. I hate him with a passion. He has these little eyes that stare into your soul and make you feel disgusted with yourself for things you never did. He's slowly drenching my soul out of my body, and every time I look at him, I want him to drench it faster. He has a head that is shaped in a weird way, and his eyes are forward-facing, and therefore he's a predator, which makes me all the more scared of him. Did not pass the vibe check. 1 out of 10 stars.
I have to agree. I mean, the shape of the head, it was very rat-like with that smile. It looked evil.
Why was he watching that movie?
I just love...
What were you doing in
I understood the passion that person was feeling in 2021.
Can I just throw in as well that, like, this is something that I guess I'm now really appreciating about modern animation, but one of the things that I thought was interesting, especially with his eyes and things, was that, like, whenever he was having an emotion or something, the eyes would move into a position, of thoughtfulness or sadness or whatever, and then they would just kind of sit there. There wasn't like a real muscle movement kind of thing, and I'm guessing that has to do with just like animation technology back then, but also his body like sometimes would just kind of stop moving, and I just thought that was very odd, and it definitely took me out of like the realism. Now, I'm gonna guess that that's probably technical, but hey, I'm really glad that has changed. Because it was eerie.
Yes.
So what would you all rate this movie
Straight up
on
5.
10?
Straight up 5. Deadass.
I think I would give it like a 3.5, 4.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are lower.
I'm like 2 or 3. I think there were like 2 or 3 good movies in it, honestly, even with everything. Yeah. They probably could have even cut it better, but like I did not enjoy it.
5 is like a straight up F. Like I don't even like
a 5. I feel like is average.
If I'm rating something,
5
like
to 6 is an average rating. Anything a 5 and
average?
I think 5 and 6 is average. I think 7 is a good movie, and I think 8, 9, 10 are great movies.
Yeah, I would say a 7. I would definitely put a 7 to a movie that like I think that other people might not like, but that I think is good in its genre, especially.
So my threshold, I guess I do more of like a personal threshold because. I mean, no, I don't disagree with you guys at all. So, I mean, like, 5/10 is, like, straight up 50% F, fail.
Wow. Okay, all right.
So, I'm... 2 and 3, actually, I put in the realm... This is just me. I put in the realm of, like, it's really bad, but funny bad. This isn't even, like...
See, funny bads I would give a 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Funny bads I give, like, a 3, because I'm like, this is god-awful, but I'm laughing at it. Whereas, like, a 5, it's just, like... I guess a kid could watch this, but this is just like a failure.
And that's the thing. That's why I go towards a 4, because I'm like, this is for kids. It's not for me. But also having a child, I'm like, this is trash.
Yeah. See, I would feel like a good kids movie would be like 6 out of 10. Like, you know what? We're doing the things. I actually give
there
most
are
things,
good kid movies.
I give most things just in general, if it's average like 3 out of 5 or 7 out of 10, I feel like it's like maybe 7 will be like, all right, it was good enough for whoever may like that genre.
Yeah.
I'm probably not gonna rewatch it. At 8,
And there's movies
at
that
8, 9, 10 for me is like, okay, you did the thing.
And there's movies that you can agree that maybe weren't not for you, but are you can see aesthetically
They're
are a good movie.
films, yeah. So, but
Okay,
I'm not
all
going
right.
to fight your 3 or 4 because it is.
Because we're
It
right.
is.
No,
Yeah, it is. I'm not gonna fight to rate the movie
and
higher.
5, I feel like 5 is fair for a kids movie as
5
well.
to me, that's what I'm saying. I'm like,
I
it
had
just
fun
was.
watching it.
Yeah,
I had
just
fun
was.
watching it.
But like 5 out of 10, when I see that, I feel. I guess for me, I feel more insulted than like a 3 out of 10 because it's like, damn.
I feel like the movie also suffers from being sort of at the end of an era of doing that live action animal stuff in movies.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, and like, I mean, I guess
At
the
the
cats were
time.
live action, but like, so many of the movies in the 90s had, talking dogs especially, or not even talking dogs, just dogs doing stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, main part of the plot, and like, I don't know, this one is sort of like, let's go extreme with it, and then just wasn't very interesting.
Yeah.
I hear you.
I agree.
hear you. No, I agree with you guys on the rate. Like a Room for me, like a 3 out of 10 is like The Room. That's like 2 out of 10.
Oh,
but I'm
first-
watching it.
Okay. Well, see, I give that a 5 only because I'd watch maybe a 6.
That is not no.
Maybe a 6. Because I'd watch that. I would watch The Room
I would
over Stuart Little.
I would 100%. I guess so. It's like but it's literally that is a 2-10 film.
That is it. But if you watch it more than another, like I'm willing to watch it.
On a personal, sure.
Yeah, and I'm not rating this for the people. I'm rating this on me.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Yeah, with
Okay.
the stuff right for the people. Nah, for
Oh,
the people.
I would not recommend this to anybody.
So if I
like,
had
don't
if
watch
I-
this,
so
child or
I
no.
I did do like if you don't like Stewart, you should for 2024 for more recent animals that aren't real in family films. You should watch Lyle Lyle Crocodile.
Okay.
Instead, that came out, I don't know, maybe between 2020 and 2024. I don't know the year, but another movie based off a book series. Shawn Mendes is the crocodile.
But he
watched
said he
it.
sings, right? He
The
sings a lot
crocodile
of-
cannot talk; he can only communicate through singing.
Okay.
So
That could have honestly made this better too.
Yeah.
I would have enjoyed maybe a musical.
Some good songs. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just the time period we were in when I watched it, but it did make me emotional, and then I was laughing at myself because I'm like, this is an animated alligator crocodile. This movie's ridiculous. But it definitely is the same vibe as Stuart Little because the croc is like abandoned and then he's like adopted into this family. He's not
Okay.
adopted, but the kid actually keeps him a secret.
Nice. All right.
Again,
I'll
if
check
you
it out.
if you want
I'm
the
gonna write it
same
down.
level of like 4 to 10 star, Lyle's just a little bit better. If you have a child, don't put yourself through Stuart. Just put yourself through Lyle if you want less pain. And laughed at Shawn Mendes is a freaking.
So, I would recommend
croc alligator.
another movie based on a book that I had recently just seen from 2015. It was an old movie that I actually saw. I was hungover, and it just kind of popped up on IMDb or not IMDb, Tubi. I watched the Goosebumps movie with Jack Black, and there was a problematic part with the friend who I just wanted to punch him in the face. But in general, I thought it was a good movie, and I would recommend it. I would recommend watching Goosebumps over this. I know it's different, different genre. It's a little bit. It is pretty spooky, so maybe like older kids or whatever. But I'd probably show my daughter Goosebumps, but she also likes scary shit. So,
Fair.
but yeah, so that's what I would recommend. And do not watch Stuart Little because it is bad.
Your kid don't need to like that
But
movie.
stay tuned for Mafia Cats. So.
Okay, if we're doing recommendations though, and I think that anybody watching Stuart Little probably wants to see some mice, so I would say let's go a little bit older and let's watch American Tail and Fievel Goes West because those rock. Those are the best.
Yeah.
I mean, they also have their scenes in them that are very weird and creepy. As like, I mean, I always thought that the best children's movies had scenes that made you sort of like scared or
very, very, very sad.
yeah, like they should have the range of emotions. I think that children really handle that a little bit better, anyways, because like, they hit the sad, but then when the happiness is there, like they're fine with it.
Yeah.
And anyways, I thought those were great. So
Yeah. All right. Cool. I'm on board for all of those. I've not seen Lyle Lyle, but I will show it to my child and hope that your recommendation
It may be too sappy for Desi.
But not for me. I love to cry, you know me. I like to cry. But all right, cool. So
Yep.
yeah,
That concludes. Go ahead.
Yep.
It's all you.
Yo, no, it's all you. I got nothing, Jared.
That concludes our first ever episode of Shyamalan Shit or Hit. I guess we can, we're all in agreement that this was a shit.
We have a shit. Yep.
Ian,
Shit.
shit film. We have yet to have it hit thus far, but tune in for next time, and we will be reviewing our next film.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Ian, for joining us, and maybe we'll get you back on for Stuart Little too. On our Patreon
I'm
episode.
here.
Stay tuned for
Right.
what's the Mafia Cats
Yeah, Mafia Cats.
coming to you soon, straight from Philly.
Straight from Philly. All right.